Mientras Luis Díaz celebraba su matrimonio con su pareja, que por cierto felicitaciones para los dos, felicidades, que tengan una vida muy linda. En Inglaterra, la prensa y los hinchas han estado hablando de su posible salida de Liverpool, rumores y todo esto de Arabia Saudita, de Barcelona. Aquí les traigo la primera parte, lo que dijo la prensa en los últimos días sobre esto. Tienen corresponsales en Arabia Saudita, en Barcelona, todo en inglés, subtitulado, traducido, como siempre lo hago en este canal. No olviden suscribirse, darle like al video, el pulgarcito me ayuda mucho. El miércoles o jueves les traigo lo que dijeron los hinchas. Hoy la prensa, miércoles o jueves, los hinchas. Y ahí los dejo con el video, les agradezco mucho su paciencia, yo sé que estaban esperando este video desde hace días, estuve un poco enfermo en la transición de mi viaje, pero ya lo puedo poner, ya lo puedo traer, y son dos partes, así que yo les prometí una, y van a ser dos, la prensa y los hinchas. Y bueno, los dejo con el video, esto es Golazo, nos vemos muy pronto.
We know Barcelona have been knocking on Liverpool's door. Luis Díaz, is there a latest on that? Does he stay?
I'll sell him. I think he stays for now, but it doesn't look as if they're desperate to give him the new contract that he wants. So inevitably, I think at some point they'll have to cash in.
You're saying sell him?
Well, he's 27, 28 now. Is it 3 years? I mean, if you look at his stats, last year was his best season. Was it? You look at Mane in the past in that role. You look at Gakpo, what he can do out there now. I know they played him down the middle as a 9 in Europe, and they figured out, hang on, we can get goals out of him. Look, at the end of the day, if they want to get a world-class number 9, and they already have Gakpo who's now making that role his own, and they have all this talent coming in, he's 28, 29 maybe, or 27, do the deal, sell him.
I'm sure Luis Díaz would love to go and play for Barcelona.
Yeah.
At the moment, Liverpool aren't advancing with those talks.
OK, what about Liverpool then? Because they've already made moves in terms of incomings in this mini transfer window, but they've now got to deal with interest in some of their players.
Yeah, Luis Díaz, Liverpool have rejected an approach from Barcelona. Barcelona have been interested in him for a long period of time. There's also interest from the Saudi Pro League as well. He's 28 years of age, 2 years left on his contract, and there's no real indication that Liverpool are actively looking to extend that deal, and that has led to potential speculation around his future. He played such an important role for Liverpool this season. His best goal-scoring return in the Premier League, he scored 13 in total. One player that Arne Slot wants as part of his squad next season is Luis Díaz, and Liverpool have rejected an approach from Barcelona for him.
We're going to go out to Spain because we're going to talk about Luis Díaz, and Rob Dorset, our football correspondent, is there. So, Rob, what is the latest on Díaz?
Well, it's a significant headline, Mike, isn't it? Liverpool, we understand, have rejected an approach from Barcelona for Luis Díaz. And I've been talking to some of the Spanish media out here and some Spanish contacts, and they've made it pretty clear to me that Barcelona aren't easily giving up on this one. He's been a long-term target for them and remains so. They really want a left attacking player on that left wing, and Díaz fits the bill perfectly for them. Plays wide left, scores goals, creates chances, and I think he's got that flair and personality that Barcelona think would fit well into their side. But pretty clearly Liverpool don't want to engage on this discussion at the moment. As far as they're concerned, Díaz is not for sale. He's still got 2 years left on his contract though, and that's what's really interesting for me, because I think it's getting to decision time for Liverpool. They won't want him to go into the final year of his contract, because we've just seen what's happened with Trent Alexander-Arnold and the possibility for him leaving for nothing. They won't want that to happen for Díaz, even though he's 28 now. So they're going to have to start renegotiating with him on a new contract if they want him to stay. But Díaz is also on the radar of Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League. He was at Nottingham Forest as well. I don't think either of those are going to happen for him. I can't see Liverpool selling to those. But I've been asking some of my Spanish contacts out here, why did Barca want Luis Díaz? Bear in mind they've got Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Dani Olmo in those attacking positions. It's arguably the best attacking four in the world football right now. And it's been explained to me that crucially none of those play wide left, and that's what they're after. But at the moment, Liverpool's position is very, very clear. They don't want to sell Luis Díaz. They simply don't want to engage with Barcelona or anybody else about an issue that might involve him moving away from Anfield.
2 years on his contract. Are we at the situation where he either gets a new contract or he leaves?
I mean, that's the way it normally works in football. A club as big as Liverpool with an asset like Luis Díaz, you don't want to get into a situation where he's running down his contract. Having said that, we've seen Liverpool with the situation with Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold this season. They managed to get pretty close to the end of their contracts, and they kept hold of Salah and Virgil van Dijk. I think the Luis Díaz situation is a bit of a complicated one. I think there's lots of different ways of looking at it, because what we were told about a month ago was that his representatives were going to sit down with Liverpool after the season ended to talk about the possibility of a contract extension. But I'm not sure that's the way Liverpool see it. I think perhaps Liverpool see it as a case of he's got 2 years left on his contract, he's playing well, he's a Liverpool player, let's see you for pre-season. But obviously, behind the scenes, I think the situation is that he's not one of the highest paid players at Liverpool. Perhaps he feels he's been left behind when other players are getting new contracts. And in the back of his mind, of course, he's got this enticing prospect of playing for Barcelona. So perhaps that is what his representatives are trying to do, keep all their options open. And if there's a possibility of going to Barcelona and Liverpool get a great offer, who knows, they may consider it, especially if they're considering making even more changes to their forward option.
Does it make sense for them then to get rid of Luis Díaz?
It doesn't make sense to lose a player that's essentially a first-team starter before they've got a replacement in. I think Liverpool are quite relaxed in this situation. They're never going to attack the window and say, yeah, he's for sale, we don't want him, he's available. Because straight away the buying club will say, well, OK, they don't really value him that highly, so therefore we can go in with a low offer. Whereas if Liverpool have the stance of, no, this is a player that's a key part of our first team. We see him as a big member of this Liverpool squad moving forward. So therefore, we would reluctantly listen to offers. Straight away, those buying clubs know, well, actually, we can't go in with a low ball offer because of the noises that Liverpool have made.
I'm a Liverpool fan, so Luis Díaz, what is it going to take get him away from Liverpool? Because that is a big one. If Liverpool lose him and how he's played, I'm just thinking, wow, that's a big move, getting him in.
Well, the advantage for Liverpool is they've got plenty of money to spend. So if Díaz goes, I would expect a big replacement. We know they like Anthony Gordon, for example. Díaz to Al Nassr is a concrete possibility. Díaz posted a message that was basically just an end-of-season thank you, but some Liverpool fans maybe felt that there was an element of goodbye reading between the lines. Al Nassr want Luis Díaz. He's their top target. They believe 85 million euros will be good enough. And I do think at that number, Liverpool might be tempted to sell. So that's one to watch. But Barcelona and Díaz as well. So he's going to have a big choice to make if Barcelona can find a way to fund it. But obviously Liverpool would prefer, if they're going to sell to Al Nassr, because that's the only way they're going to get this number of 85 million.